Well, a lot of things have been happening, especially with the missing plane in Malaysia. And if you haven't been taking notice of the news, you would have probably missed that the biggest racist, the biggest anti-Semite in Australia has been released. That's right, folks, he's back on the streets, Brendon OConnell. So I couldn't be there to interview Mr. Brendon, so I sent my web designer down to say hello to Mr. Brendon OConnell, now that he has been released. Here's the interview. Great to have your company there, Brendon. How you going? How does it feel since you've been released?
It feels great, and I've been tormenting this poor man all day. He's a nervous wreck now. He's going, why did I ever invite him up here? Anyway, I'm up here with a friend of mine. He shall remain nameless. I'm far away from Perth at the moment. And yes, things are okay. I was released 2 months ago, as you know, January the 23rd. And from jail and blah, what do you want me to say? No job, no hope of work, no place to stay. They lied to me about accommodation availability. What haven't they done? What's new? Let's move on and let's get into the stuff, which is Israeli intelligence activity and Jewish, racial and religious supremacism. That's all that matters. And don't worry about that I'm suffering and persecuted. Let's just get into that stuff and yeah.
Yeah, mate, before we go for the big chunk,
yes.
Before we go for the big bite, I'd like, if you could, just give a quick summary for the viewers out there, people who maybe haven't heard of your case. Just give a quick rundown of how you've come up with this.
Okay, I was the first person in Western Australia, indeed Australia, to be prosecuted under the new racial vilification laws. The main one was Section 80B, which was one count of conduct likely to racially offend Mr. Stanley Elliott Keiser, or Keiser, or Keiser, or whatever he calls himself. They spell his name about 25 different ways. I racially vilified him by one, calling him, and we'll cut to the video a bit along this way. I called him you're just a racist Jew, you're a bunch of racist homicidal maniacs, you have a religion of racism, hate, homicide and ethnic cleansing, and that racially vilified him. He felt offended. The key word is offended. He was offended. The other 5 charges were under Section 77 of the WA Criminal Code, or Criminal Compilation Act, 1903. That was passed in 2004, as was Section 80B, and that was I engaged in conduct intended to incite racist animosity.
Yeah, but mate, I've actually looked at the video, and from what I can see, it's very, very clear that Stanley Keiser was trying to incite the public, not you. So why is it that you're the one that was charged and not him?
But this is good. Look, Stanley Elliott Keiser is a member of a radical Zionist socialist youth group called Habanim Dror. They're worldwide, they're well known, particularly in the US, doing firearms training. They salute the Israeli flag, they sing the Israeli national anthem.
Can you say that name again? What's it called?
Habanim Dror, D-R-O-R.
Thank you.
Habanim, H-A-B-O-N-I-M. Habanim Dror, they're worldwide, okay? So he's a radical political activist, okay? He was 21 years old at the time. He was a member of the Australian Union of Jewish Students. Into everything, and also, and this is the bit I love the most, a rabid member of Chabad Lubavitch. Although he claims he's not religious, they're his best buddies, Chabad Lubavitch. And if you know anything about Chabad Lubavitch, you know they are the biggest lunatics on the planet. Powerful, move in the higher circles of power. It was a bit like a member of the neo-Nazi party of Perth complained that I called him a racist. It was absurd, but they did it. It was really absurd. So that was 80B, and he was there to agitate. He's there saying, oh, the shopping centre staff have asked you to move on when they didn't. He was photographing people the whole day for 2 hours. He photographed me. He took my photo and he walked through the crowd like a drama queen, whatever he is. He's a screaming queen. He walked through the crowd, gazed down and said, we are Jews from Melbourne, and what you do, actually I've got to do the voice, we are Jews from Melbourne, and what you're doing is disgusting. Now I was sitting there with a bunch of Catholics, bad Catholics, we're all lapsed Catholics, talking about the uselessness of the church. They don't get active on the street, they're all waiting for the second coming, so all the youth are heading towards the Green Left and the socialist organisations and the Communist Party because they want something done. And we're chatting about this when all this happens, just quiet, peaceful, not agitating. I was there quite happy to just chat. And I thought, wait a minute, that little so-and-so has been photographing us for the last two hours. And there was Palestinian activists there, flying over from Palestine, getting their photos, going back to his synagogue. So I have pursued him, and I simply stated, mate, you're Jews from Melbourne, why didn't you've been taking our photos, why didn't you just come up, shake our hand and give us your side of the story? And that's how it all started. Cut to the video.
So fellas, you were taking my photo. I'm curious. You're Jews from Melbourne. How about a bit of an interview?
Nah.
From the Jewish community point of view.
I don't really want to.
You don't want to? Why not? Why don't you speak out about the slaughter of little children in Palestine?
There's more to it, but I don't really want to talk about it.
Well, there's not. 700,000 European Jews were just dumped there. Speak
He
out.
does speak
No, they
out.
don't. You stay in silence.
And I don't really want to talk about it. I don't.
But
like
you took
being
my
harassed.
photo out there. Why is that?
Because I saw you guys were doing a.
Why didn't you come up, shake our hand, and say, "We're Jews from Melbourne, and we'd like to speak
I
about
try
it"?
to engage with you people. You attack us, and I don't appreciate.
No, I don't appreciate someone taking my photo and just walking
You're
past.
filming me right now.
You don't like it. You don't like being filmed without permission.
I also don't like you coming and protesting when you don't have all the facts.
You people have got to understand, you've got to speak out in the tradition of the Tanakh and the prophets against
What is the
sin.
tradition of the Tanakh and the prophets? Please
That
tell me.
Jews speak out when injustice is being done.
Okay.
Yes.
You as well. A question. I'm just going to be honest. You can film me.
Film, tell them about the slaughter.
I don't really want to be filmed.
But you were filming us. You were filming us without permission.
Racist. Because that's what this man's saying.
You have a religion of racism, homicide, and ethnic cleansing. You have 3,000 years of homicide and ethnic cleansing. Have you read the Tanakh? You don't read the Tanakh, you read the Talmud. You consult a rabbi.
I've read the Talmud. I went to a Jewish day school.
Yeah, exactly.
Deeply.
Do you know that I know what's in those books of the Mishnah and Gemara, my friend? I know all the rabbinic commentaries, rabbinic Pharisaic Judaism,
Torah is
Jewish
the one-
mysticism,
the Torah is
Rabbi
the
Schneerson, the best of the Gentiles. You've spoken enough. The best of the Gentiles should be killed. The best of the Gentiles. That's in your books. That's in your racist, homicidal books. You racist, homicidal man. You are a racist, homicidal people, and you slaughter Palestinians as if they were ducks. You slaughter Palestinians as if they were ducks on earth. You are hunt them. You rape them and kill the little children, kidnap them. Families lose their kids. They disappear off the face of the earth, never to be seen again.
The Torah is built on.
You kill 1,500. Don't touch my camera. Touch my fucking camera again. Touch my. You film me. You touch my camera again, I will shove your camera up your ass. You really?
You just hit me in the face, and at the same time, you're not.
You touch my camera again, I will shove it up your ass.
Hit me in the face.
You are a racist, homicidal maniac.
Because you hit me in the face, mate.
You're a racist, homicidal maniac.
Brendon, let's leave it alone.
You hit me in the face.
You're lucky that's all I did, mate. And you kill little Palestinian children and you support it. Oh, go and get a good Jewish lawyer.
Go for it.
Go and get a good Jewish lawyer.
You can push me into a car.
You'd love that, wouldn't you? You are a persecuted people.
Now, how long have you been out so far, mate?
How long have I been out of jail?
Yeah, mate.
Well, I did 3 years and I've been out 2 months.
Since the 19th of January?
23rd of January 2014.
Yeah, right. How has going inside changed you? Do you think it's changed you at
Oh,
all?
of course, completely. It's a war, they don't care, Jews can do no wrong, or actually, it's not true, they were shitting themselves. When you have the Israeli ambassador to Australia, what's his name, Yotam, whatever his name is, turn up and support Stanley Keiser, supported him directly. They had a Friends of Israel rally, 1,000 alleged Christians attended, the cream of the Perth, Sydney and Melbourne Jewish community turned up. The Israeli ambassador turns up in person. You have the Israeli deputy foreign minister turn up via video link. You have 30 local and federal members of parliament turn up in person to support it. And you have 100 local and federal members of parliament write written support for the event. And all this was held 8 days. It was August the 8th, 2010, and the original trial date was for August the 16th. Now the trial was adjourned at that stage and it was made into January the 17th, 2011, but that was the original date, August the 16th. So 1 week before the start of that trial, they have the Deputy Foreign Minister and Israeli Ambassador, the keynote speaker was Stanley Keiser, the opposition in my case, so he's getting support direct from the Israeli state. Now, I ask you, that contravenes Section 135 and Section 142 of the WA Criminal Code, engaging, conspiring to defeat the courts of justice or attempting to pervert the courts of justice. You can't do that. It is criminal contempt of court. I couldn't get expert witnesses to appear. I was intimidated. My lawyers were intimidated. The court would have been intimidated. It's huge. I've written letters. No one will press charges. Nobody. They're too shit scared. Inspector Nick Anticic, Anticich.
So you're saying to me...
He refused point blank to press charges.
So you're saying to the people here that a foreign diplomat ambassador...
Foreign nation
ambassador actually got involved in a local court case in Australia and...
Unheard of anywhere in the world at any time.
And tried to influence it.
Didn't try to influence, did influence.
So you would have you'd have a lot of grounds for...
Of course, but it's political. It's all
legal
political.
action.
It's all political. It's nothing to do with the law, it's political.
So that's why you've got no support with this?
They're shitting themselves. Listen, that happened 6 weeks after Inspector Barry Shelton, the head of counter-terrorism in the state of WA, emailed me saying, we all respect your work. I'm coming back in 2 weeks, we'll meet after I go to Melbourne for a counter-terrorism conference. I want to talk to you about all your stuff.
About the worldwide support you've had since standing your ground, what are your thoughts on the levels of support that you've received for standing your ground?
Sweet FA, and it meant nothing. It meant a lot for me personally, but let me tell you, forget worldwide support, it's useless. You need local support. Now, by 2 years in, by 18 months, they knew they'd really fucked up. They knew. By 2 years in, when I started doing my background synopsis for the High Court, after I'd been brutally bashed, when the prison system felt guilty and thought we'd better give him what he wants, after keeping me from computers and keeping me from photocopiers for 18 months, they finally realised, oh dear. And I started to get a lot of support, and I had prison management of all kinds, prison officers, prisoners coming up, shaking my hand. What they're doing to you is disgusting, this is outrageous. I had prison psychiatrists supporting me, I had, you name it. And that hunger strike helped me with that a lot because it brought all my paperwork in. I even had staff doing their postgraduate studies on me, and she got to present my case in front of 40 forensic nurses and psychiatrists and so on. And everyone was the same, this is a joke, this is a disgrace. Didn't help, mate. Didn't help. Still did the full 3 years, no parole. I was too dangerous to let out. I might have called someone else a racist. Heaven forbid.
Well, apart from the prison guards and the nurses, you mentioned that you've had some government and police insiders.
Well, that. It wasn't prison officers and nurses, it was the whole prison system.
You mentioned that you've had some government and police insiders very interested in your research. Are you able?
Yeah, I did. Look, 2 weeks in, Detective Payne and he's one up from him, his supervisor, I can't remember his name, said these words, exact words. I previously said, Payne rang me and said, oh, you have a really big hard drive, and I said, oh yes I do, you know, a bit of a giggle over the phone, and indeed, I hope you've been watching. He said, for 2 weeks I've been watching 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, your videos, and we are very interested in what you write about. And I said, oh yeah, so they came over, and then while I was there I said, I'm sick of the harassment, I know you're opening the doors, or your mates from Campbell Barracks with the SAS are, who, you know, do all sorts of tricks. There's private security companies, ex-coppers, ex-SAS, they all hang out together, they go and harass people all over Perth. I said, I'm getting really sick of it. Now, they didn't say you're a nut. He said, listen, I'll do exactly what he did, word for word. Don't worry about the harassment. Just focus on winning the case. We're the arresting detectives. We have a conflict of interest. But we want to talk to you about what you write about. Okay. And that was 2 weeks in. So that was in June, all right, of 2009.
So you obviously wasn't serious about talking to you about your research.
Oh, no, they were serious. They were right into it, mate. Trust me, they were right into it.
From a discovery level? Like
yeah, they weren't just buttering me up. They were like, they clicked. This is a major national security issue to do with the infiltration of all our institutions, military, policing, intelligence. You've got all these local Australian Jews, some of them with, you know, Bill Smith are their names, okay? They're living in Israel, they're working in Israel, they're serving in the Israeli Defence Force, they're in electronic communications, data intercepts, firearms training, explosives, they're freaking spies, and they're coming back to Australia and infiltrating all our institutions. You've got billions of dollars of security and military contracts, government contracts with Israeli technology companies like Rad Group, all military intelligence personnel trained up under Operation Telpiot, and there's a few others, we should put them in. And these guys are getting military training, and they're the elite, and they design hardware, software, Variant, Guardian, P-Tech, you reel them off. And they own every database. They're linked in with Google. They're linked in, you know, owned by Sergey Brin, Larry Page, Jews from the US. Then we've got Facebook by Mark Zuckerberg. That's why they want your data. It's not just for marketing. They are forming profiles on the entire planet. They can watch and look at everything. Who you are, who you're calling, what you're doing. We have Telstra, our own major telco, 51% government owned. They go on about China all the time. China this, China that, but nothing about Israel. Israel is the big spy, and we have Amdocs doing all the metadata, all the billing for our local telco, the biggest of the big, Telstra. They're all over the world. Okay, it's huge. $600 million contract with Census, the Yellow Pages, and they ruined the database. There's barely a squeak in the media. That's not even a squeak. $600 million contracts destroyed, and then they've flogged off the database to some too big company. The Yellow Pages is no more. Where's the media interest? A $600 million contract with basically an Israeli military intelligence outfit. And these people are literally everywhere. Michael Chertoff, dual national Israeli-American citizen, American Jew. He's running private company now. He used to run Homeland Security. Now has a private company spying on Americans for Homeland Security.
Yeah, that's right.
That's like Serco, who's the biggest corrupt piece of crap in this country. Private jail systems, doing all that stuff. G4S, been around for years. Imagine them spying on Australians on a subcontract basis for the Australian Federal Police. It'd be outrageous. And yet Americans just accept it like it's nothing. It's just crazy. They infiltrated everywhere. And that's what the police were interested in. And 6 weeks after sending me that Gmail message, boom, along comes the Israeli ambassador and the deputy foreign minister. Hint, hint, click, click. Imagine how I was feeling. Alone, broke. I mean, it was just a joke. And the police are too gutless. Inspector Nick Antisich, you gutless maggot. Gutless. Yeah. WA police, lift your game. I don't care how chicken you are. You going to, diggers and the Anzac spirit of Australia, fight, blah, blah, blah. You're gutless. I don't mind you being a gutless dog, but if you're going to be a gutless dog, pandering to those inbred scum from Israel, then why don't you just admit you're a gutless dog instead of strutting around, taking on the bikies and blah, 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 blah. You're going to do this and you're going to do that, but you're too gutless to take on this foul, disgusting, racist, apartheid state. They're lunatics, but you're too gutless, Nick. You make me sick. Puh. Next question.
Now, mate, looking back at the footage of your trial, I find it very, very interesting.
The footage, yes, the footage. Did you like the footage of the trial? Would you like to know how we got the footage? We'll stick it. Still, I warned the Supreme Court I had the footage, and if they wouldn't negotiate, but there you go. You like that footage?
Well, better still, I'd like to know why they edited the transcript compared to the audio footage.
Mate, only mentally ill people edit transcripts. Didn't you know that?
Yeah.
Only mentally ill people claim they edit transcripts. My God, there's whole chunks out of it. Chunks.
They can get in a lot of trouble for that.
Why? Who's going to get them in trouble? Everyone's too busy drinking piss and partying and watching big screen TVs. They don't care.
Okay.
No one does anything.
Well, having a look at that footage of your trial, very interesting, but what would you have done differently during your trial?
Oh, look.
Retrospectively,
I would never have behaved like that. At the time, though, I expected to be able to present evidence, and he just clearly wasn't going to do it. So I hammed it up. I mean, I hammed it up big time. And I thought, well, I'm not getting a precedent out of it. So
it slowly became clear to you that it wasn't so much a trial,
oh God,
but a kangaroo court.
It was a kangaroo court. But look, they viewed the fact that I was being silly because they'd given me opportunities to get out. They wanted me to play by their rules. Now, they're right, actually, because look, I'll explain this, and anyone who's been through the system will understand this. The law or the court system has nothing to do with the truth or justice. Nothing. I'm not saying this to sort of make a point or because I'm bitter and twisted. I'm telling you, on a day-to-day level, the court system, the legal system has nothing to do with truth or justice. It's a system. It's a method of control made by the elites or the establishment of each state or city at which they're based. And this is the same all over the world. If you mess with the elite establishment figures of your particular city or town, they will crush you like a paper cup. They will lie, cheat, steal, plant evidence, hide evidence, you name it, to get the desired result. Now, if they like you and you just say, Barleys, I'm very, very sorry, if they like you, you will get off lightly. They'll look after you. Their view is they know what they're doing, you just need to be put under control. Their view was, shut up, go back to work, Brendon, go back to your nursing and just leave this issue alone. That's what they wanted.
Because they're scared?
It's a lot of things. A lot of it is just business, baby. Jews run business and finance. They can make life hell in WA or anywhere. Look at China. China back in, was it 2003 when the Chinese started getting a bit uppity and they started talking about going to euros instead of the US dollar? What happened? Overnight, the Chinese stock market dropped 10%. And believe me, when you drop 10% overnight, we're talking depression level. That was massive. 24 hours later, boom, back up it went again. Why? 2 strokes of a keypad in Wall Street.
So a lot of the inaction of the governments against the agents of Israel here in Perth, Western Australia has to do with the contracts.
Yeah, scared. Contracts, business, finance, they've got their eye. Look, Jews have their eye on WA and they've had it for a long time. I've been told by a very well-known Orthodox Jewish family they're calling WA New Zion. They're all coming here from all over the world. Jews.
And that's just not a theory. That's
a theory. I've been known this since 2001, 2002. At that stage, I wasn't into Jewish issues that much, so I went, what does that mean? But
You've seen it develop.
I've seen it. I wrote about it in 2005. I told you the development was coming. Oh my God, it hasn't even begun. It's going to be huge in WA, particularly in WA. The development is just massive. It's got massive oil and gas fields, it's got massive iron ore, you name it, every rare metal, everything under the sun. There's only 22 million people in the country and only, 2.2 million people in a state. It's 3 times the size of Texas, and there's 2.2 million people here.
Have there been any side benefits? Do you visit the jail?
Yeah, of course. My eyes have been opened. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. I've met the highest of high-profile local cases. I mean high-profile. I've met the biggest drug smugglers in the world with the Colombian cartels, Roger Reeves, very nice man. I know all the dirt on WA, all the dodgy lawyers. I've worked out exactly how it works. It's that corrupt here, it's just beyond belief. And what do you want me to say? I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing I've had my eyes open.
Well, what side benefits have there been?
Well, it's steeled me, it's rounded out my personality now, it's made me realise I'm at war now. And I've just realised they can just come to your home, they can make up anything, say anything, intimidate you, whatever they want to do. No one's going to stand up for you. Everyone's going to say it's terrible what they've done, but it's going to mean nothing. I live in a state where the police are that corrupt, it's a joke across the whole country. We've got the judiciary are that corrupt, it's a joke. I mean, we've got Colleen Egan, the assistant editor, all right, get this, the assistant editor of the local West Australian newspaper. She's won major national awards for her journalism. She writes a best-selling book on police corruption called Murderer No More about Andrew Mallard, M-A-L-L-A-R-D, Andrew Mallard and the wrongful conviction of Andrew Mallard. She names the corrupt police, and it's bad. She names the Supreme Court, the justices who took part, you name it, it was bad. And what happened? I'll tell you what happened. Nothing. They were protected and coddled, the coppers, and given a nice job at Keiser, where all the copper goes, the Fire Emergency Services Association, a Keiser. And they all just go there and they have beers with the police commissioner watching the cricket while Perth burns, which actually happened a few years back. You know, Carlo Callahan as the police commissioner, I've heard he's actually personally a nice person. And he genuinely does care. He genuinely does care and wants to make WA a better place. But Carl, if you can't clean up shop, and I understand corruption. I understand what it's like to be bitter and cynical and you just get sick of the job. It seems like you're on a roundabout. The drugs are out of control. It's just a nightmare.
Your son's got a meth lab?
Yeah, your son's got a meth lab as the police commissioner. I mean, I understand how people get bitter, and they're good people, they're not bad people, they're corrupt, but they're not bad. There's corruption everywhere. Nurses, let me give you stories about the health department if you want corruption. So it's everywhere. But at some stage, somebody has to be accountable, and it's gone too far, and WA still hasn't learned its lesson. They're still doing the old tricks. They still haven't got it. And there's talk in the jails that until a judge is shot through the head in public, and I'm telling you, I'm the messenger, don't shoot me, people are actively talking about knocking off lawyers, judges and police commissioners.
But you don't condone that, do you?
I make no comment other than to say, if you're going to behave like this and push people and ruin people's lives, take away their livelihoods, take all their possessions and deal drugs yourselves and set them up and lie, cheat and steal, then don't be surprised when they fight back. If you're going to behave like a crook, don't be surprised when a crook shoots in the head. That's the bottom line.
Fair enough.
So I say nothing other than that's your problem. If you want to behave like that, then pretty soon someone is going to do something.
Then you have to deal with your own karma.
So don't shoot me, okay, if someone shoots you. And whatever you do, don't say, oh, we never saw this coming. Oh, Perth has lost its innocence. This has been coming for years. So I hope and pray you get the message through your thick little skull that one day you're going to piss off a man in his 50s. He's going to lose his business, his family, his farm or something. He's going to be an angry white man and he's going to pull his ute up outside the Supreme Court and he's going to walk in with his shotgun and he's going to start shooting. And when it happens, don't you say you never saw it coming. You better wake up and start cleaning up this state and stop behaving like criminals. We've gone through the process, we've had the newspaper expose you, it's gone on and on and on and nothing changes. You plan evidence, you rig people, you lie, you intimidate, and I've met 3 years in the jail system and I've seen it all. You're dealing the drugs! Police are dealing it! God's sake, it makes me sick locking people up for 10, 15 years, 20 years, and you're dealing it yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself.
While you're in jail, was there anyone looking out for you on the inside that you'd like to now give a shout out to?
Yeah, my beloved Lebs. Just call 1-800-LEBS.
Are you talking about the Lebanese gangs?
Yeah, gangs, just people, some of the Lebanese community within the jail system made sure, word got out, leave Brendon OConnell alone, and you know who you are, and I appreciate that very much.
And they looked after you?
Yeah, you know who you are, and others affiliated with those people, yeah, basically.
I heard you say earlier, praise Allah. Do you have a newfound respect?
Well, I'm not technically a Muslim, no, but I just pick up stuff along the way. I like the passion of Islam. They take it very seriously. They're the ones getting bombed and wrecked. They're the ones standing up to the New World Order themselves, and they are copying it. So, of course, I have a lot of respect for Islam. It just goes with the territory.
Is that a newfound respect for Islam since
No,
then?
I've always been there. Always. I've considered converting 2 or 3 times over the last 15 years because I'm sick of Christians saying you can't mix religion with politics. It's ridiculous. Of course you do. And I love the way Islam, you have a local imam, and it's all about your community and mixing religion with politics. You have to, because politics are values. And what are your ultimate values? Look, forget about judging Christianity or Islam on individuals or on the mosque or the church. Just look at the words of Jesus, the words of Prophet Muhammad, and the words of the prophets in the Old Testament. It was all about being honest, decent, and kind, and loving and supporting each other.
Absolutely.
That's just the basic message. Forget about the fact we all fail to live up to it, but that's the basic message. And resisting lies and deceit and just shopping. The freedom to shop. We've got to start getting our communities back. And again, they're big issues for another day. They're massive issues. And it appears that there is a shift towards that now. It's starting. There's a shift starting.
The media deliberately portrayed you wrongly.
Using,
I would say with an agenda.
No, that was absolute intent.
Yep.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
To try and portray you as a white supremacist and a racist.
Well, that was the Nine Network. Then they curbed their words a bit in the West Australian reporting, but I gather now they sort of realise just how sick Judaism is. A rabbinic Pharisaic Judaism.
But you're not a white supremacist or a racist at all.
Nothing to do with that. I mean, it's absurd. They turned it on its head. So I'm confronting a racist, call him a racist, then I'm arrested under the Racial Vilification Act.
For being a racist.
And then called a racist.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so freaking absurd that sometimes I just look at the wall and go, what just happened? But you got to understand, I saw firsthand how the police, Department of Public Prosecutions, the media, all get together and just focus on that individual to destroy him. And that's what they tried to do. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope the fact that you failed. And I know you can come and arrest me any fucking time, but I tell you what, we'll leave it at that. I tell you what, you thought you had it hard before and when I was in jail? Fuck. Never again. Never again. I warn you now. You stay the fuck away from me. You get it? PANI, State Security Investigation Group. When I call for the slaughter of Jews or start bombing synagogues or start shooting and shoot people, by all means, come and arrest me. But while I sit here and make simple statements of fact, you know what the word fact means? Truth. Make simple statements of truth about lunatics who are too gutless to pull up. Don't expect me to go quietly, buddy. Do not expect me to go quietly. I'll do my best fucking Alex Jones right now.
10 seconds.
Alright? I've had a gutful. We've got 10 seconds. Got to change the card. Let's go back to that. Good time to calm down. I've had enough of these clowns, what they did to me, and you'll find out more in a second.
Well, folks, that's all we got time for right about now. Do stick with us for the next part 2 in the series of a chat with Brendon O'Connell. Very, very interesting video viewing. But for now, as a favor, do leave a comment. Take care, God bless, and ciao for now.